Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, January 28, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. You live, you love, you lose, you learn, and someday you might laugh. There's something extremely magical happening right now, in this very moment of our lives. Now, we may not be aware of it or care to take notice, yet it is here, and it continues to go on being magical all the time. It happens so frequently that it can seem normal, obvious, and typical, which is why we might tend to overlook it every day. Yet truly, this magical thing is more amazing than the mind can fully believe or comprehend. Now, this miraculous thing I'm talking about is your life. And it's happening inside of you, through you, to you, and for you right now. There is a perpetual creation of the experience of you occurring just for you to enjoy you. There's not much you can do about it. Best thing to do is to just let go and completely surrender yourself to the experience of your life. On a physical level, there are millions of miniature life-giving processes happening inside our bodies right now. There are energies that are keeping our heart beating, our lungs breathing, our hair growing, our teeth from decaying, and allowing our heart to relax and sleep tonight. Our diaphragm is pulling in a continual flow of oxygenating energy into our lungs, while our bodies are pumping blood to trillions of cells, lovingly transporting the great river of life, giving energy to every cell throughout our bodies. In this moment, as we are sitting here, listening and understanding this information, billions of brain cells are being engaged in understanding these concepts. It is only in this now moment that we can find this miraculous experience called life and discover where it is coming from. When we stop to appreciate all of the wonderful things that are occurring in our lives, this highly sensitive extrasensory perception begins opening within us. We begin feeling and sensing the divinity that is behind every breath and heartbeat. This sweet sensitivity increases to the point where we can feel the vibrant matrix of intelligence that is weaving itself through all thoughts and things. It is amazing what a little appreciation for life can open up in us. When we start to be grateful for all the little things that we usually take for granted, we begin to see, smell, taste, and hear the deeper meaning of our existence. It becomes possible to actually know on a spiritual level why we are here and what is the true meaning of our life. We see that everything that is happening around us is actually a miracle, because we realize that we also are a miracle. Perhaps one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is the experience of conscious awareness. We can watch the mind think, perceive, and make up all sorts of explanations about ourselves and our life. we can see that when we make the slightest, most subtle shift in our perception of reality, our entire attitude and exploration of life changes. Our body responds differently to stimuli that it once believed was threatening, and we find an entirely new reason for being alive. The mind is the greatest inventor of lies. It never actually sees the truth in all its perfection. It can only see fragments of the truth, catch a glimpse of it here and there, and try to capture it with some fixed yet random creative expression. It is always making up stories about other people, this world, ourselves, the way that this life is. It makes these enormous, glorious assumptions to courageously capture the truth and fit it into a beautiful box that others can appreciate and praise. Yet, the truth is too big for the mind to contain. The truth is everything in this universe that is here now. The mind can only hold on to two things. Only two things it can hold on to: the past and the future. And the mind cannot just be here now in the present. The moment the mind completely surrenders into the burning fire of the now, all grasping disappears. All of our suffering created by the mind is gone. Now, if and when we wish to experience the truly miraculous being that we are, and get a real taste of the amazing life that is ours to enjoy, we must choose to drop the mind. We must choose to give it up completely and let go of all the clinging to its righteous beliefs and ways of thinking. That is the only way to be truly alive. Otherwise, we're just living in tomorrow or yesterday, missing out on this wondrous moment of life. The true you can only be found here, in this now moment. And one day, this body and mind will be gone, which is why this experience of your life is so very precious. Take time today to truly enjoy you being here, right now, and totally alive. How often do we appreciate the opportunity we have just to experience what it is like to be alive? This appreciation is really and truly our ticket to freedom. It is the main vehicle for liberating ourselves from the mind and its many prisons, to see, feel, and smell the divinity within all things. We must choose to drop all attachment to the mind and its entanglements. We must choose to merge with it, find peace with the mind within us. Just imagine that you are the sun, and the mind is a small, hard comet heading towards you, about to get burned up in the sun's sacred fire. My invitation for you right now is enormous. Stop trying to get anywhere. Just drop the mind and see how much you can really enjoy this day, that you are still alive. In this very moment, you are still here. Who knows about the next moment? Remember this. Choose to do everything you can to be radically alive. So my request here is not that you try and push yourself further into your known list of sensory pleasures. Mental distractions or physical addictions. Challenging you to go deeper into your aliveness, your spiritual nature. Find a deeper, more authentic joy inside you. One that contains a deep healing relaxation within you. I want you to find the peace that is within your soul. It is here now and will help you transcend every hidden anxiety and self-sabotaging behavior you have ever had. Become so alive, so vibrating with this life, that you suddenly realize that you cannot hold on to all your worries and fears, that they are no longer your priority. Imagine, how would it feel to be so relaxed and excited about your life, living in this magical body-mind vehicle you are in, that you forgot all insecurity and fear? What if the main mission of our life was to do this? What if finding absolute unending joy was as simple as being fully here now? Welcoming this sacred moment, whatever the experience is giving us. What if the goal of our life was to cherish ourselves in each precious moment, as if this was the first or last moment of our life? How would we live this day differently if this was our truth? Now, we all know that it is amazing that we've been so conditioned and programmed throughout the ages to believe that we're sinners, right? And then the guilt, because you believe you're a sinner, how guilty you feel about it. In a Catholic religion, you go into a little dark cubicle, little room, little box, and there's somebody on the other side that you don't know from Adam, and you're supposed to ask to be absolved of your sins. You go out and you believe you create sins, right? Do things. It's because how you were taught, programmed or conditioned, however you want to look at it. And in some man-made religions, you go and you can get cleansed and absolved, and then you go about and then you're going to go out and you're going to do more sins. And you get absolved and so on and so forth. And the sin, like everything else that we have been conditioned about, and what the sin has represented to this civilization, is a lie. And I've said this many times, is that it simply means to miss the target. That's it. So you look at all the people that have suffered, worried, stressed, and feared because they felt they committed a sin. And they didn't. They just missed the target. I see that this life is like a game of darts. You ever played darts? Where the bullseye target is being fully here in this now moment. That's the bullseye on the dartboard. This is where the divinity, our divine essence, is found. It is the only place and space it is discovered. So why be anywhere else? It is just the habit of the mind to be somewhere other than here now. Can't be here now. Won't be. When we take our eye off the target for an instant, we miss the goal of our life completely. When we are relaxed, open, present, and fully surrendered to what is here now, we can trust life, enjoy being held by life, and hit the target each time. The one thing that will always bring us into the now, always, is our body and our breath. I'd like you to practice listening to your body intimately. Feel into how it is breathing into you this week. Really listen. What is it telling you? Remember this, the body does not lie. It doesn't lie. And it's going to clue you in on an entire collaboration of vital information that you really need to know. Listen super closely, as if it were whispering to you from a place very, very, very far away. Notice what is the one message it has for you right now. It is pointing you inside, deeper inside, to the point of absolute relaxation, totally dissolving all tension, where you can find real inner peace. It is through our bodies that we will find the real you, who is forever intimately connected with this universe. When you practice listening to your body, letting go of the chit-chat in your mind, you start to hear these subtle messages from this universe that guide you through the daily matrix of this life. This universe will show you how to get through this life, how to navigate your way into finding heaven on earth. This is our purpose for being here. To find heaven is here in this now moment, when you deeply relax into yourself, to your life, exactly as it is. You can discover the greatest miracle of all. You can trust that you are on the right path in every moment of your existence. You just see, feel, and deeply accept that you cannot get off the path, no matter what you do. You know why? Why this is true? Because you are the path. The path is before you, beneath you, right where you are. Walking on the path, you see everyone as perfect, just the way they are. You begin noticing that everyone fits into the grand perfection. With all of their many imperfections, you realize the great miracle of them all. is always here. Here, the most magical source of living is discovered. The real intimacy with this life. The meeting of the divine with the mundane in every ordinary and extraordinary experience. Liberation, as Osho quoted, liberation is not very far away. It is just hidden behind you. Once you are authentic, the door opens. We can be such liars, pretenders, hypocrites, so deeply false. That's why we feel liberation is very far away. It is not. For an authentic being, liberation is just natural as anything. Who do you devote yourself to? What do you devote yourself to? Should be a no-brainer for all of us. You. One of the most beautiful experiences in this life is the feeling of devotion. When we are truly devoted, we've released the selfish agenda of our ego and are surrendered to something much greater than ourselves. We've given up every imperative need to get something back in return for our practice of giving and are simply enjoying the sensation of being liberated from our perpetual list of demands and needs. You could say that the greatest lovers in this world are those who can relax into the deepest feeling of devotion within their hearts, which is attuned to a love that transcends all conditions, agendas, and limitations. Now, it's many forms. I mean, we can be devoted to a lifestyle, a person, a way of being, a project, or even achieving a desired goal. The difference between being devoted and committed is something within the quality of the experience. Very important to understand this, as I have mentioned it before. Commitment is more of a mental excursion, while devotion is a journey through the heart. You see where it's going? Commitment is the head. Devotion is through the heart. Through devotion, there is this continual undercurrent of love which flows through every thought, feeling, and word uttered. The love it radiates holds this juicy heart-opening quality, connecting our mind to our soul, allowing us to taste the sweet, luscious flavor of our own divine existence. And when we practice being in the energy of devotion, we are feeding the heart with a joy that has no end to it. This ultimately brings real satisfaction into our lives. Feeling that great longing and yearning we each have for the everlasting joy we feel is missing inside. Real devotion is one of the greatest secrets to finding our spiritual freedom in this lifetime. The feeling of it alleviates our suffering instantly, as it allows every action to feel sacred and aligned with our life purpose. It is the most essential nutrient necessary to create a truly exquisite life that is deeply fulfilling to all levels. The highest reward for an act of kindness is not what you get by doing it, but what you become by doing it. One of the greatest challenges with choosing a life of devotion is that we may fear losing ourselves in the beliefs, heart, mind, or life of our beloved. We might fall into some codependent relationship, feeling an addiction to them, where we may become obsessed by a need for their approval of our every action, belief, and life decision. In this unhealthy state, our beloved becomes like the sun. We become the earth revolving around them. And when we remember that we are the sun and our beloved is just another sun, spirit, we've met along the way, we can feel that they are actually revolving around our life as well. And from this perspective, we experience what a healthy, devoted relationship is like. And these two bodies gravitationally spin around each other in a natural, respectful, meaningful, and magnetic way. How many of us on this planet are in a healthy state of devotion? How many of us are seeing the bigger picture? Our feet rooted the ground beneath us, and our branches are extended up into the stars. We are not clinging to anyone or anything. We are relaxed in our own essence, feeling alive, conscious, appreciating each moment of existence. There is a great reverence each day we have to be in relationship with our beloved. We know it all can end at any moment, and thus never take it for granted. There is a solid feeling of connection to the love shared without depending on it to find the love within ourselves. In this healthy state of devotion, we feel connected with everyone and everything in our world. Now, believe it or not, love is one of the most dangerous explorations in this life because it is the most rewarding. In order to experience real love, we must choose to completely lose ourselves to it. We must choose to become so devoted to the real feeling of love, the essence of love, that is free from attachment, fear, and possession. We must choose to walk that very fine line between losing ourselves in a healthy or unhealthy way and a devoted relationship. We must take the risk to see ourselves as the beloved sees us, and know that it is our own innocent hearts we are longing to connect with. The day finally comes to an end. Now, as long as our relationship with ourself remains the main priority, you've heard me say it many times, it's all about you. And I'm not talking about ego mind you, I'm talking about heart mind you. And as long as your relationship with yourself remains the main priority, you will remain in a healthy state of devotion. You will be aligned to your soul's purpose, and thus be able to show up with the greatest love to give. Now, when we live in fear of losing ourselves to our beloved, there's this clinging to our egos, and we end up resisting love, fearing its power, and then not allowing our ego to surrender fully into it. As long as the ego remains in control, love will be kept on the sideline. As long as the ego remains in control, love will be kept on the sideline. When we can realize that our heart is the main source of love, the infinite source of love itself. We can share this love endlessly and stop withholding it from others in our lives. As we walk on the path of devotion, we might discover how the ego is an absolute genius at missing the truth. It cannot imagine that there is a bigger love to experience on the inside than what it thinks is on the outside. It is only exploring total devotion, only through exploring total devotion to our soul, our spirit, and infinite self, that the sacred meeting of deep eternal love is discovered between you and your beloved. This is the one vital truth to be realized, that will let a continual stream of joy flow through your life. When we surrender completely to this infinite source that connects our heart with our soul, we will always rise and fall in love with our beloved. Then we can relax fully into the devotional experience. We are free from the fear of codependency and are no longer worried about becoming lost in the mind and the life of our beloved. We become so rooted in the exploration of deep eternal love within ourselves that we can allow ourselves to take risks, love deeper, be foolish in how much you do love, and continuously fall further into love with your beloved, over and over and over again. Every one of us will discover that as we dissolve into love, our ego fades. We are not thinking about loving. We're just being love, radiating like the sun from us. Every one of us wishes we had the courage to live a life overflowing with abundance of joy and love. Yet, to reach this level of love means we must surrender through every fear we are gripping onto. We must choose to let go of control. Trust that love is the greatest guide we will ever find. Now, you might have come across people that freak out if they lose control. They've got to be in control. If they're not in control, they freak out. They just lose it. This is because their grip on not, letting go, they have, their grip is on it so tight that it can't even move. So they never let go. We must choose to devote our entire heart and mind to the idea and feeling of being in love with ourselves. You are your beloved. With ourselves and our lives. This is the place where the heart never, ever closes down for any reason whatsoever. When we are truly devoted to ourselves, to finding the greatest love within our own heart, we find that love was always there, always waiting to show us the way home. The other big issue for everyone comes eventually, where everyone comes eventually across, is that the ego is the most tenacious master at resisting love. That's why a lot of people don't love themselves. The ego does everything it can to make sure that they don't. It is always cautious and skeptical about falling in love and feels devotion is only for the weak and needy. The ego simply doesn't trust love. So guess what? Most people don't trust love for themselves or anyone. Because if it felt what love really was, it would die. It would have to give up all its strategies for protecting itself from love and learn the path of surrender. The ego only knows control and separation, me versus you, and avoids falling into the ultimate state of love at all costs because it knows it has no control at that space, in that space. And the more we can surrender to trusting love, the more we will find that love pours into every wounded crack and crevice hidden in our being. It is only through giving up our attachment to our ego that we can find what real love is all about. We must choose to lose our small self to discover our big self, which is constantly growing and evolving in love, always being reborn, fresh, and new. At the highest level of awareness, all devotion is devotion to the self. At the highest level of awareness, all devotion is devotion to the self. The self is omnipresent, alive and conscious within all beings. Now, when we know this, see this, and honor this truth, we simply give up all limited approaches to love and upgrade it for this higher version of reality. And from this space, we can be totally devoted to a partner, friend, child, family, or any person for that matter. We then can lose ourselves completely in that experience because we know that ultimately it is a form of devotion to who we truly are. There's no separation from ourselves and our beloved. Our beloved is our perfect mirror, reflecting back to us all the multidimensional aspects inside ourselves that we cannot see. It is through seeing the oneself, realizing its awesome power, that we can stop being afraid of devotion. It is our devotion to this highest state of awareness, seeing the oneself in all beings, that actually enables us to be free. We are no longer limited by our expression, bound by our beliefs, or stuck in suppression. In devotion to the One, we gain access to the deepest levels of joy, freedom, and truth. We are no longer fearing love, yet only in gratitude and reverence of it. This sacred relationship allows us to reveal our highest life purpose and direction. It is only from this place that real everlasting happiness is found. This state of being knows that this life is truly perfect, just as it is. There is absolutely nothing we need to do to make it better in any possible way. And as Buddha quoted, be lamps unto yourselves, be refugees or refuges unto yourselves. Look not for a refuge in anyone besides yourselves. Now, when you are ready to start creating a life of devotion this week coming, I have a few fun practical steps you can do to help it get rooted in your daily life. First thing is to make a devotion altar. I repeat this a lot to people. And then a lot of people say, well, that's kind of stupid, isn't it? An altar? This isn't about religion at all. Where you add everything on it you are devoted to in your life. It can be as simple as a cardboard box with a nice cloth on top, where you place holy pictures, beautiful art, inspiring statues, heart-opening gifts, precious stones, wise sayings, or anything you feel is sacred for you. And everything that you want to open your heart up to and feel a deeper connection with. Sit in front of it. Stand in front of it. I've had altars where I stand in front of them. A simple shelf on the wall, okay? And different kind of like artifacts that are on it. Anything that you feel is sacred for you. You add everything that you want to open your heart up to and feel a deeper connection with. Sit in front of your altar. Meditate on the items on it every morning. Feel your heart opening up to the devotional energy it represents. By trusting in this sacred connection, each time you glance at your altar, the energy will build each day. And if you want to, burn some incense, light a candle to make it official. Now, it's write down all the beliefs that you are creating that are creating a healthy and unhealthy level of devotion for you. Start with a list of every unhealthy or limited belief you have about being devoted. This is your let go list. And just know it is the gateway to experiencing a healthier state of devotion. These beliefs may sound something like, I'm afraid of losing myself and my partner. It's not safe to fall in love. I'm not worthy of deep experience of love. I'm unable to let go of control over my life. There's a lot of people like that. They just are not going to let control, okay, let go of control over their lives. Now, once we have written down all of our negative limiting beliefs, write down all the opposing positive beliefs, which counterbalance them. So these would sound something like, I'm excited to lose myself and my partner. Safe to fall and rise in love. I'm worthy of the deepest experiences of love. I am looking forward to letting go of control over my life. Now, once you find each specific positive belief that balances and cancels out the negative beliefs, you can then let them both go. Being free from both beliefs allows you to experience a deeper release, a free fall, and surrender into your infinite being, where the greatest level of stillness and silence of the mind is found. It is this state of pure stillness that our greatest innocence and most authentic being is discovered. Here we can realize our most natural state of devotion that is free from all resistance control and fear. Devotion revealed in this space will only create more joy, ecstasy, freedom in our lives. It is from stepping in this direction that we discover the perfect life, where we see that everything and everyone around us is a deep, eternal, loving, and gift in the most intimate ways. I join you in the meditation. I'll return to close soon. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Go within and find your most enlightened self. You'll know you've arrived. You have accepted, appreciated, and treasured all of the dark and bright aspects of yourself. And you will completely relax, dissolve, and discover the deepest peace and inexhaustible loving presence existing at your innermost core. This light shines that within you is always radiating, always. And it's brighter than 10,000 suns. Can you imagine that? Make time today to see, feel, be with your shining light. Remember, there is nothing more beautiful in this entire universe than you. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Monday, January 29, 2024, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Being the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's happening outside of you or inside.